I am Shawn Clement, and I'm a composer. When you work with film and TV, you're given this dramatic work on film. Musically, you have to define emotions, turns in the story, character development, and it's really based on what you see on the film. When I start a film, I don't like to watch a scene too many times, because for me, it's all about the first impression. Because it's like, I mean, think about if you're the viewer. When you see a movie for the first time, you don't know what you're going to see, and that's what's going to hit you. And what hits you? Whatever that scene is, whatever those actors are doing, whatever's happening, that's how I want to see the film, because that is very much a sensory, immediate reaction. I'm thinking about the scene, and I'm thinking about a rhythm, a timing. Rhythm doesn't mean like you got a drum set or a bongo or whatever. There's a rhythm to the scene. There's a pacing to the scene. And I think very rhythmically, and I think very time-oriented.
Working with Shawn Clement is an absolute joy. He brings so much decorum to a project. He really knows what he wants. Everything's very clear, very concise. It's a pleasure.
Composing for me is very instinctual. It just comes to you. It's really this innate thing that you do, and it's just like a natural. It's natural. It's really, I don't know. I see this scene, I see this thing, and all of a sudden I thought these notes. Each composer brings to the table them. In other words, you hire me, you get me. You get my spin on the story. I'm going to give your film what I think it needs. I'm going to make sure you're going to get a good product. I'm working on Quantum Quest, which is an animated 3D IMAX film. It's a very interesting project. Quantum Quest is a combination science fiction adventure film mixed with education. The main character, Dave, is a photon who comes from the sun. It's about finding what his purpose in life is. He eventually discovers this purpose, which is his whole reason for being, and that's what this movie's about. It's his experience. I had an incredible voice cast to work with, and it was very inspiring. I could draw a lot from it. It was like Star Wars meets Star Trek. We had Doug Jones, Hayden Christensen, Amanda Peet, James Earl Jones, Brent Spiner, Jason Alexander, and Gary Graham. We also had William Shatner as the core. He's like God.
That is for you to decide.
Chris Pine is Dave. He's the main character. This is his quest. Fear is played by Samuel Jackson. Void, which is played by Mark Hamill. And we even had astronaut Neil Armstrong.
I would like to welcome you all to Caltech.
No one here. I'm the only one that hears the room. I only hear the booth.
On Quantum Quest, I was overseeing all of the audio post-production and producing the score as well as a lot of the other sound elements. So I was kind of wearing a much bigger hat than just scoring, and all these things interplayed with each other. So when it came time to go to the stage and record, I spent 99% of the time in the recording booth because I needed to hear what's coming in, make decisions on cuts, do edits on the spot, things like that. I had an excellent conductor who knows how to get what I want out of the music out of the players. And it was a great collaboration that way.
What'd you think, Shawn?
It was great. We're going to do one more.
You do safety? We got it. We'll do that same thing as a safety. Great playing, same thing.
And there comes safety.
Here it comes.
The idea that you're seeing like photons and protons and neutrinos, and now there's a score that may be named, you know, the photon journey or antimatter. It's just another element for kids to be able to relate, since they come from an Xbox, you know, iPhone, Wii world.
There's nothing like hearing your music played by a live orchestra. When you write something, it's on a page, and you have this thing in your head, you're going to hear it. When you actually hear it being done by other humans that are translating what you wrote, it's really interesting because you get 80 people interpreting what you wrote, and they're all bringing their element. They're playing your music and their notes and your intentions, but they're bringing their personalities to it. It has its own life. I mean, it's indescribable, actually. It's kind of wild.
Shawn's great. It's a great hang. We're having a great time up here. So.
Absolutely.
This is great. This is Quantum Quest. This is the quest everyone should be on.
In creating Antimatter, there was a lot of creative discussions on how we're going to approach this sonically. You're in space, and the big thing about this movie is, you know, the climax of the film, you're going to be on the moon Titan, and Titan's a big moon of Saturn. So you're around this planet, and it makes sounds. So even in the script, it really talks a lot about the sounds of Saturn. So we talked about what are we going to do with these sounds? How are they going to evolve? And they really wanted to make it a part of the movie, more so than just sound effects. They wanted to make it a character in the film. We talked with the sound design team, oh, we can do this and we can do that. And that really was kind of like, almost like enhancing the sounds. I mean, it was just kind of adding to it, which is cool, but it doesn't turn it into a moving, living, breathing thing. We got a lot of our original sounds actually from NASA. They had actually these sounds that they had. It was really cool stuff. So we started messing around with that and doing stuff, and it was really, really cool, but it still was more sound design. It was still more sound effects, and it wasn't really evolving anywhere. Eventually, I just ended up relying on my theremin, and I have this thing called the guitar violin. And these two things together, they evolved. What's neat about musically what we're doing too is the fact that this is, you know, big IMAX film, we can spread the sounds all over the room. You're in it, so you know, we're sending things to different places, so you really feel like you're in space. It was a lot of fun doing it, and kind of interesting sounds and noises coming out of the room, and really kind of playing with a lot of different things.
When you meet somebody that you connect with like that on a creative level and on a personal level, you know, it's just like we've become really good friends. And we're talking about some of the things that were really great about doing this movie. And one of them is the people that you meet and then you want to have lasting friendships and relationships with, you know, professionally and musically and all that into the future.
Hopefully you like what I do and my commitment and my passion. If I'm going to work on your project, I'm going to love it. I'm going to give you 1,000% of me. I'm gonna care about it. I'm gonna really live it. It means something.